I'm Teak Underdue, one half of Hallway Productionz.
And I'm Dee Underdue, the other half of Hallway Productionz, born and raised out of Stockton, California.
Yeah, we started out young musicians here. Picked up my first instrument when I was about 4 or 5. Started playing drums. Then I started playing bass guitar with Arthur Coleman here at Hamilton Middle School. Then I went to Franklin High School, where I was a part of the Franklin Jazz Band, where I was the bassist and drummer, and played the little keys. And then from there, went to college, and then we started.
Leave my part out.
I was gonna send it back over to you. Then you can tell all your whole thing next.
Tripping.
You start from you then. Go ahead.
See, you get back and forth. You got it.
I'm like Kobe. I don't pass the ball. I don't pass the ball. I'm going for the dunk. I almost threw the N word in there. Okay, gotta keep it.
Bonk.
I'll pick it up since D want to be funny. Straighten your shit up. Okay.
But yeah, see, he played, a lot of the percussion and keys and bass and drums, and I play brass instruments. I'm a trumpet player, jazz trumpet player. Since I think 2nd or 3rd grade, I've been playing trumpet. Louis Armstrong Award. We've toured around the world, in high school doing music. So we started at a very young age, getting that life experience of what adults, entertainers do. We started that at a very, very young age.
A lot of that comes from my mom. My mom plays bass. She played keys. She had a couple bands. I mean, she's also an electrician, mechanic, like literally one of the most phenomenal women I've ever met in my lifetime. That's my mom. And from that, we just took it. She did music production herself, so then we kind of just took that over, and then
can't forget about Pops.
Yeah, Pops is the Black Panther, and just very political.
Black Panther artist. He played, percussion as well.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of that's in both of us, like just the music and the speaking out and just trying to grow and expand who we are, what we do. But then we started just giving out beat tapes to different people, and it got to the right people in the right time, and then one of them got to the artist Dub C, with DJ Crazy Tunes, which is Ice Cube's DJ, and it got to Dub C, which is his brother. That tape went to Ice Cube, and Ice Cube seen what we're doing up north with Keek the Sneak, and then we did a lot of work with Black Alicious. Shout out to Chief Excel, who was our cousin, who helped us tremendously, like showed us all of our first studio sessions. And Black Alicious, they're for the cause and for betterment. And from that, we just started growing with Ice Cube, and that, man, it just
rest is history.
Yeah, rest is history. Got first Grammy nomination with T-Bone. Then working with Lettucey, we got another Grammy nomination. Just being musicians under our cousin Chief Excel, and we just stayed consistent, and we just kept growing. And we did almost about 99% of our music here in Stockton, like all of it. It's either my mom's house where we had a studio, my house, or Dee's house. We've done all of it here in Stockton, and I think that's the most special part. Like, it's not no LA thing going on here. It's 209
Homegrown.
To the death. As far as the definition of love, respect, and honor, you do need all those things. I think you have to love your people. You have to love what you do. To me, I'm big on respect. You don't respect me, I can still love you, but I need my respect. Honor. Honor's a huge part, because you have to give more than what's given to you. So I think that's honoring your elders, honoring your community. I'm huge on all three: love, respect, and honor, and they do work together, because I think that's the only way you can build a thriving, loving community. You have to have all three, and to me, you always have to give it back, which is why we're here today. Like, I got a couple text messages, and it was like, "Can you be here?" I was like, why not?
I'm gonna just add on to what he said. With me, I'm really, really big on the respect factor. And then, I believe what you give is what you get. If you don't put out that good energy and you don't respect people, you're not gonna get that back.
100%.
It's the reciprocation, everything meshes together. So if you're not 100 with people, they're not gonna be 100 with you. So it's like you can't really expect, people to give you what you expect if you're not giving that to them. Community wise, you gotta show love to people, period. Everybody has their struggles and their things in life they're going through. You never know. It may be somebody that's having a horrible day, and you just say, hey, how you doing today? You cool? That may push them off of whatever they was gonna do. That may change their direction. And that's happened a few times with people that I know. Like I just tap in regularly with people, and one of my homies was, you know, thinking about killing himself. But it was just that random 2 a.m., you know, text message that, and he didn't, I mean, he ended up, you know, doing something later, but I actually prevented that from happening before. And so that's, you know, one of them things, like, you know, just show love to people, respect people, and, you know, it's going to be given back to you. And that's one of the reasons why we're respected out here, is because, you know, we show love to people. We don't hate on people. We just keep it real. We're us. We're genuine.
Making Juneteenth to me a little bit more sounds like inclusive for everybody. You know, I think that's the premise of Black people, period, though. Like, all shapes and colors. You can call me high, yellow, whatever you feel, or however you feel, or whatever, but that's being Black. So I think when they start seeing all the aspects of the Black culture, like especially here, you know, based in Stockton, we're super cultural. Like, we have a lot of Hispanics, Southeast Asians, but we work together already. So I think if it doesn't, I don't want to say feel so Black, if you show the spectrum of the Black culture and what we can do and what we're about, I think people will gravitate toward it, because when they hear Juneteenth, it carries like a negative like connotation. Like, but I think in general, the Black experience, it's all inclusive already. Like, we've literally created so many different genres of everything, culturally, musically. When it starts feeling more like that and the word gets out there, I think people will gravitate towards Juneteenth more, especially here in Stockton.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, it's a lot of different, you know, people out here, and the first thing they think about is, you know, the events that's thrown, and, you know, things that's going on at those events. So it's how you open it up, and which makes people want to, you know, learn more about it. And
yeah, you know, that's good, because like food, everyone likes to eat food. If you're like, oh yeah, we're doing this food thing or whatever, showcasing like Ethiopian food, if you never tried it, but more and more people start talking about, like, oh, it tastes like this food or this food. They'll be like, oh, they'll show up barbecue. Everybody barbecues, like things like that are universal, that they think more of Black people for. Like, the more you do with those things, I think more people will come in who don't like to eat. I like to eat.
We can tell.
Shut up. I will hit you, you know. Music is liberation. Like, you can put so many different messages in music. We just have to be careful what that is and what's shown. I think it's there already. It's just, I think people showing more of the positive aspects of music with the good message, even if you think it's negative. Like, music is kind of like the focal point for liberation and for whatever message you're trying to get across. I think in general, it's just about the message and what it is. So the more educational, the more peaceful. It can still be fun too. Yeah, that's kind of pretty much how I feel about it. We made a lot of gangster music too. So in general, we're both pretty peaceful people. I am. So the roadblocks are, there's been a lot of hood messages going out, but that is a part of who we are too. We both grew up in Stockton. Like, we both know about the violence here. We both, you know, have seen violent events. You know, we both grew up in gang-banging neighborhoods. So that is a roadblock, because when you think about the message you want to put out there, we're both jazz musicians, so we're not making jazz music at some point in time. Like, a lot of it is gang stuff, gang music. But gang culture is a small part of how we came up. So it is important. It's important for us to kind of have that as one aspect of what we do. The other good thing is the balance. Like, from that, we were able to do a lot of spiritual music, some gospel music, soul music. So with us, we needed that balance. So I think we made up for, I don't even want to say made up for, we were able to keep balance in our music palettes, because the gangster music was only a part of what we do. And so we're able to cover a couple other genres based on that.
It's the diversity. Like,
yeah,
we're able to adapt to our surroundings and do what we hear. It's a difference, you know, between someone who just goes online and drags and drops, you know, and creates something from loops. But we're actual musicians, so we're able to actually adapt to anything that we hear, and we're able to do it. It's like, you know, one of them stands, like, if you put your mind to something, you know, you can do it, you can achieve it. So that's always been us. Like there's never been something that we're not able to achieve because we're go-getters, period. Like that's how we were raised. Don't give up. Like that's not us. Like if we come across a roadblock, we're gonna figure that mug out and we're gonna keep it rolling. Like that's how we do. And if I can't do something, I'm attacking with my brother. Like, hey, Teak, he got it.
Yep. So, you've seen the long list of the songs we produce. I want people, because a lot of people don't know what we produce. I want them to go through that list, and our legacy should be eclecticness, covered so many genres. I want you to look back and say, oh, I didn't know you did that. Oh, I didn't know you guys did that. Oh, this is the hardest record I ever heard on the gang side. Oh, this gospel record is beautiful. Oh, you guys did this and played all the instruments with Angie Stone. Like, I want you guys to look at all of it in its entirety and be like, wow. I didn't know that came from Stockton, made in Stockton. And it just, like my brother was saying earlier, it came right from here into a computer to the artist and then to the rest of the world. So I want it to be like eclectic and, eclectic's the best word because it covers so many different, music covers so many different genres and styles and musical tastes that when you put it all back together, you'll be like, how did these guys come up with that many different sounds in this period of time?
And on top of that, I also want it to be something that is passed down, not just from us to our family, but to other inspiring musicians and entertainers.
100%.
So it's like they can see what we did and, understand, like, it doesn't matter the environment that you're in, where you come from, what you look like, none of that. It's about achievement, going after what you want, your dreams, and expanding. Like, we can do it, so can you. So, like his daughters, oh my goodness, amazing. Like his oldest, she sings. She is amazing. His Nana's a middle child, right? Mm-hmm. His middle child just released the album last year. Blew me the hell away. I didn't even know she was working on music. She played guitar, I knew all that, but he sent me a song and I'm just like, who is this? It's not crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm still shocked. So, it's one of them things. I'm just like, proud uncle moment. Mm-hmm. But it's, she's been around music her whole life. And, from his greatness passed down to his children. Hopefully that gets passed down to people that they know. Just it's something that just keeps trickling down.
I want to add this too, because we started talking about this earlier. What me and Dee did, which we don't get credit for. We don't need credit for anything, to be honest with you. We changed the air out here in Stockton. Like, we used to go to different music studios, and it was about who you're working with, what you're doing, and your sound. And we kind of had a bigger sound. We're talking about 1998, 1999. And they would just say, oh, you guys can't. I mean, they would say you can't.
We sound too clean. We sound too industry, too professional.
It wasn't like out here. Me and my brother, we're being better for ourselves and then for the community. And so we started reaching out to different people who you normally wouldn't reach out to. That wasn't going on. It was not going on before. And so everyone started working together. You know what I mean? Then the music got better out here, like over a couple years. Like, we're talking about early 2000s. And so we started giving people beats. Then people started buying a couple beats here and there. But the sound of the music changed out here. And this is our era. Like, we're talking about early 2000s. And so fast forward to now, when everyone's working out and you got people who are actually getting record deals and blowing up. It's because everyone's actually working together now. They weren't doing that before. And it's because me and my brother started reaching out, putting these artists together and working with the best artists. One of them is Rari, shout out to Rari, which is EVK J-Bo's dad. Like, that's somebody Dee had a close connection to. We reached out to him because he was great. And so this greatness trickled down to this whole new generation of people, and they don't even know the whole story about it. Like, they just know Rari being one of the best artists out here ever. And that's because he had the best working with them. And he was one of the best ever. And so a lot of people don't know that. They don't know half the stuff we've done behind the scenes because we don't talk about it and we don't need praise for it. It's just the culture had to change and we changed it. And people follow their street culture first. And so, it has ties back to us. And it's just, it is what it is. And you got to deal with it.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, back then, and this is what, we was fresh out of high school. All recording studios, they had a certain type of equipment that they had. And that's what you had to have in order to be considered, good or even for them to even take you serious.
No, we didn't have that.
We didn't have that. We started off on a computer. Nobody had computers at
4
the time.
tracks. You only have 4 tracks, and that's all we had.
We was doing stuff that was unheard of, but when you play it, you couldn't tell. They literally thought we went and booked some studio time. But I literally built a computer, ordered all the parts,
literally
put it together, and that's what we had in our studio. No one recorded on computers at this time.
This was 98,
and
99.
People laughed at us like, oh, y'all playing with them toys. Y'all got a toy. That's a computer. That's a toy. That ain't no real studio equipment. Well, look what you guys are on now. Who was ahead of the curve? I'm just saying.
We had to go back to computers because we were like, oh, we did that already. Well, I guess we go back to computers. I think a leader sticks up for what they believe in. A leadership is bigger than one person. So when you're fighting for something, you're not fighting for yourself. You could, if it's, self-motivated, like it's somebody who's going to go first. Like if there's a cliff right there, that person's going to go first to teach you not to go there first.
Someone that's standing there with a purpose and that's actually there leading. To me, I look at it like this. Like a leader is not just someone that's there for themselves. They're there for the people. They're there for the tribe. Whatever the mission is, like they frontline. They're there. They're going to make sure that everything is, everything.
And they don't have to be like I don't want to say the best human beings. Like you do have to be a good person to an extent because they're going to have faults. But I think the overall goal has to be to help many others before yourself, or help yourself and include many others with it. And it's a position that's lonely. No, I know that. So I think that's what it is. You have to accept it. And you have to keep moving forward. You have to bring people with you. It's kind of what I think a leader is. Mm-hmm. So growing up with the father as a Black Panther, like we didn't get very many stories because I think, Dee probably heard some and he ran with it, but it does instill leadership because you're like, I don't know anybody else like that. And you're like, this person is unique. And so I think that we always knew that we were unique, or you feel unique. So you take that and you use that in a leadership role. Like we went first with our music. We wanted to be the best musicians. We were the best musicians. We love production. So we'll be like, you know what? Let's try to make ourselves industry producers. And so it's going first. We went first. There was no one behind us to even teach us how to do it. We took it on ourselves and we got called crazy. We got called all kinds of stuff. Got called bedroom producers. Everything in the book. We just
forgot about that one.
I remember that one because
that's funny.
It was.
That's funny.
Shoot, because we went from producing in my mama's bedroom to producing in our bedrooms in our own homes. So I mean, it comes around. But we went first, and it's taken us farther because, we set the standards ourselves, and we set them high. And so now the air out here is very different. People think, oh, I can start producing and get my music and art to a huge artist because we did it. And so that does link back to feeling like leaders in what we do and not taking it for granted either. Like that's why we go places like if I'm at Walmart or something and I'm with my wife shopping for the kids or whatever, I'm not going to downplay you. I live here. I get groceries here. We got nominated for our second Grammy, and I was at Dee Dee's with my wife getting cheap clothes or something like that. Like it is what it is. We live here. We represent Stockton. So we went first. We go first.
And we be everywhere. That's the thing about like, it goes back to respect also. Like when you respect it and you put out that good energy and different people from every side, they got love for you. You can go wherever you want.
They see us out there. They're not going. Like, they're going to say what's everywhere. Up and say hi.
It don't matter.
Say what's up.
Everywhere.
When Pops was around, though, he did instill a lot within us, though. But then with moms, though, moms had to be everything. Because my mom was, so it trickles down because my mom was the first everything. I think they had her in the newspaper because she was the first Black electrician with, I think Collins Electric or one of the places at the time. And then she
was the first lady DJ in this area also in the 80s.
And one of the first Black bass players. So my mom went first at everything. And then she had enough left to give us our whole musical experience because we would hear her put music together and she's not a classical player, she just knows how to play bass. But then she would sit there and learn every chord and not really memorize it, but learn every chord and piece these songs together for her band, and then they would perform. And so hearing that growing up, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I'm starting to hear it come together. And so it's literally everything that we are today was put right in front of us already on the plate. So you see this black woman go first with everything she's done and courageously, like, not looking back. Probably got called all kinds of names too, you know what I mean? But seeing that, you're like, what can't I do? Like, are you serious? And you're gonna tell me no? I don't even know. I know on is backwards no, like, that's all I know to
my
go.
My mom was crazy. Like, my mom has always supported, like, it does not matter what it was, she's always supported us, like, point blank period. So, like,
I have to add a fact, no one knows this, I play bass. A lot of bass that I play on all my records, my mom bought me in 2001. So all my records that I'm playing bass on is a bass that my mother bought me, that just to link that back together.
Mom supported us, like, from the get-go. Like, we were, like, in middle school at the time. That's when you started programming for the gospel choir, right?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah,
so we're in middle school. We're at Hamilton at the time. She had, equipment that, they stopped using for a while, and it was just sitting up. And, when Teak started figuring out how to do it, I would go in there, I'd start messing with it. And she never really had a problem with us being in her space. Like, mind you, this is in her bedroom. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we have all types of times, day, night, mom's, she was electrician, so she'd get up 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the Bay Area. There was times that, we wouldn't even see her because she would, sun up, sundown, but she's always supported us. And even when, like, the homies would come through after school and we all piled up in her room making music. Yeah.
That's the one thing.
Never had a problem. She
never loved
complained.
When all the friends came over. She set the example. She was like, "Oh, anybody and everyone can come over at any time. Like my house is a safe space."
Like,
and we talking about, we still, like, this is the hood too. Like we lived on G Block out there across the street from townhomes in Greensboro, and so that space ended up being a safe space, period, for any of our friends who wanted to come over, because moms was like, "We're a better place to be than with me. Like, it's the only space. If this is the only space, it's going to be safe." And so all my friends always knew it's always open door policy. And it's still like that. Homies would drive by the crib, moms would see, look on the little ring, see if it's you, come in. Still that way.
Yeah, people, like, even like they'll pop up on her and say, "Yeah, what's up, moms?" We all at our own house, we all got our own families, but that's moms. Like, everybody knows.
And they call her moms. So the people who we really want to honor: Sharon Cookie Charles, my mom.
Mel Wan, and Arthur Coleman
played a huge part of our musical lives. If it weren't for them, like, musically, and my mom, this whole thing would be a wrap. It wouldn't even be nearly what it is today.
Yeah, like, literally, if it was not for them, like, I would literally probably be dead or in jail.
100%. And a lot of our friends,
everything.
Thousands of kids probably would have went to prison. And I went through a list. It's probably close to 1,000 kids that would have went to prison or jail, or be dead. We keep it going. Chief Excel, which is our cousin, Xavier Mosley, took us to all of our first studios. With Black Alicious, got us on all of our first records that were charting. We're talking about 2001. Got D on tour, got Bear on tour.
Dave Lopez. Gotta give Dave Lopez his shine.
Yeah, he managed the whole Cube situation for us with dealing with Dub C, Ice Cube, and crazy tunes. Like, he's the catalyst that kicked it all off and opened the whole door for us industry-wise. Like, you only need one person. He was the end that got us in there and stayed with us, and then we did all the legwork as far as consistently getting better with music.
And DJ Crazy Tunes, like, we got
DJ Crazy Tunes.
DJ Crazy Tunes,
rest in peace.
Rest in peace, which is Dub C's brother, but also he was Cube's DJ.
Kept us in the loop.
Dub C.
Yeah. These guys literally, like, to this day, we sit and we talk on the phone and have great conversations because of the brotherhood that we built over the years. Then there's our brothers, of course. We need to honor Richard Bear Ward, Richard McMagan, Chauncey Saffold. Those are our brothers that had our back regardless of whatever any of us. Eric Moore, who is our cousin. I mean, Eric Moore's Denitra Moore. The Moore family, that's our cousins. And so they're a phenomenal Stockton family, and people don't know we're related. You can watch Eric's on IG or whatever with hundreds, millions of views or whatever, and we literally all just came up together growing. And just the fact that y'all should piece together, these are our cousins that are, like, worldwide phenomenal musicians, and we're doing what we do. There's a reason why. It's in the water out here.
And then we got to tap in with the artists too, the ones that started soft, like Seedless Records, To The Face Records, Mr. Peabody. Tizzle, TT.
Tizzle, for sure. Yep.
Young Mac T.
Yeah, a lot, because we were testing out our stuff on these artists, like just trying to get better.
Marcus Sosa, that was actually who I actually had I sold my very first beat to. It was him and Drizzy.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout out to
I did
Booms
my
and Drizzy.
very first beat and sold it to them, and they put that out as a single. From there, Pharaoh Brooks,
yeah.
Welcome Home.
Young Ren popped up at the end of middle of our careers and been supportive. He's one of the first out here to kick down the hip hop doors. So
Chicken, gotta give Chicken his shine. My boy Chicken from Jackson.
I think the first step for any musician trying to come up out of Stockton or San Joaquin County is do it with the intent on getting better at every step. Because even today, I'm a young 44 years old, but I don't think you need to cut it. I'm approaching music with getting better every day. And I think by the time I'm a little bit older, maybe in my late 50s, I'll probably be the supreme producer and musician, because I approach it at getting better every single day. And I have been, so I'm not even at my best yet. So I think if you go with it with that approach, not to just make things for today, but plan for tomorrow as well, being a producer or musician, I think you'll be able to accomplish something you probably didn't think was possible.
And I would say number 2, do your homework. If you don't research what you're doing, you're not going to fully understand it.
We have books. We used to buy books just to learn how to be better producers and read them.
I still do research. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I still do my research.
I think I might like music. Okay, what do you like about it? Do you like putting it together? Do you play guitar? Do you like the way keyboards sound or pianos? Like identifying exactly what it is you think you might love to do and doing it, because some people only make beats, not music, because it's cool. And that's cool too, but you might learn that you're a gifted piano player by doing that. So you might end up doing more composition, or you might do your graphics because you made a beat and then you're really good at graphics. You might stumble in the fact that you're a great graphic artist or a photographer. So it is identifying what you think you're good at or passionate at first, and then learning more about it, and then doing your research and history, and then getting better at what you identify that you're the best at.
Yeah, because this is why I say, just like why I just said it the way I said it, like why I said just do it, because you can go and do all the research in the world and it may overwhelm you. And it may discourage you from doing it because you're thinking in your head, damn, this is a little too much. I didn't know it was all it is. Mm-hmm. But if you just actually, okay, I want to make beats. Okay, I'm going to go download this program and that's the first, you're doing it.
So in our dynamic too, so D is more of the tech guy, builds the computers, ran the Pro Tools, taught me how to mix and all kinds of stuff. Phenomenal beat maker. Me, I identified I'm the musician. So I may make all the beats, but it has to go to my brother to make it sound industry-wise for us to take it to these other artists. And so with that being said, I identify my role. D knows his role. Even though they intertwine, though, we know each other's role. The other part that's not fun is the contracts and the publishing. And so we didn't know these things going into music. And so we had to learn them as we went along. Luckily, we had Ice Cube was really fair with our contracts. We till day one, which is 2005, I believe, to 2024, dealt with the same lawyer, same verbiage. Verbiage never changed. Over all them years, I read all of our contracts, even with the lawyers. I would go over them. I learned this is what this meant. This is what this means. This is not what you think it is. It does mean something entirely. So it's after
one
the years
can change everything in your contract. But that's something people don't understand. Don't read it and pay attention.
And it's not a fun process, but that's a part of doing your research. After years and years of getting these contracts, as other contracts come in, you compare them to this one, to the one you got from Ice Cube, the guy the beast and this might not be fair. This contract might not be fair. This one is fair because you gotten all your royalties. And then you have to learn what publishing is, like who gets what's fair publishing. Composer gets 50%, artist who writes or sings gets the other, or the writer of the song gets 50%. Now, when that starts getting cut up, you're like, oh, these things are right. But you learn these things over the years, and then sometimes you have to cut in a guy who has nothing to do with the song to make these deals go forward. And so we've learned this over the years, and this is the unfun part of the music. You gotta play ball, but this is the part you accumulate over years and years of having contracts, having publishing deals, getting your royalty checks, getting checks. And that's the part where history comes in and doing your homework. and that's the unfun part. But you don't necessarily have to do all that before you learn what you like about being a producer. Because that's what Dee said. You got to hop in first, identify what you like. Then you're gonna learn some stuff that's unpleasant along the way. We had an idea, but I mean, we're talking about over 20 years worth of experience reading contracts, getting checks, getting underpaid, which most people do, getting overpaid here. So it's a wealth of knowledge being a music producer and learning over like 20 plus years. So
yeah, there was actually one time Cube actually reached out to us on one of the contract situations, because we had an attorney, and you know, most people, they expect the artist or producer just to sign it, you know, when you get a contract. But we had an attorney. We went and hired an attorney, had him look over it, sent back revision or whatever, and Cube hit us back. Yo, I'm really dealing with y'all, because y'all ain't no dummies. Like, y'all didn't just sign. Like, you guys are actually taking the time out to do your research and read over this stuff. And he respected that. Mm-hmm. And that's what actually made him work with us even more going forward. There's
one time where just due to the publishing situation we had with the particular artist that we sampled, I mean, no one really knows this, but Cube overpaid us to compensate for the sample that we had. And I don't know of any boss or artist that would do that, but he did that. And I mean, it was rewarding at the time. It was very financially, like, it was a good amount of money, put it like that. And so I don't know a lot of people that would do that. And that's an exclusive story that I'm sharing with y'all. I don't think you really get past hood trauma, but what we were able to do, we had outlets. So our outlet was music. So that's why we had some people question our, our journey with making gangster music, because you got this nerd here who's, I love being called a nerd. I'm a pretty smart guy, but and a college graduate with a bachelor's in science. So I am that guy. I also grew up where you grew up, and so I understand what's going on, and all that got put into music. Like, I ain't gonna roll around with no face tats or nothing, or carry no strap or nothing like that, but you're gonna hear it in the music because I was around y'all and I heard the same shit y'all heard. So it translates there differently, like, because certain people, they can't discern like what to do and where to put it, so they end up out there doing gangster shit when they don't have to. And so with me, I was like, well, my outlet is I know how to make something sound rough. I can feel it. And so that's, for me, taking my life experiences, what I felt, putting it in a place that doesn't harm anybody. And that's how I did it. Dee's story is a little bit different, just barely.
Trauma-wise, I mean, to me, putting it in your craft, period. I mean, you never really get over trauma. It doesn't matter what the trauma is, you don't get over it. You can tuck it and you can bandage it up, but
it might come out.
Yeah, you don't get over it. So, I mean, me is putting it in my craft. While he was inside, I was outside. So I got a lot of different stories in what he got, but at the same time, it all comes back to the same place.
Yeah, because his knowledge.
He's a big brother. He's a year older than me.
Mm-hmm. But his knowledge of the streets helped guide us into what we do today. Like, he was able to connect with the D boys and say, hey, let's make some music, or they approach him because they knew him already. Like, hey, let's make some music, and he'll be like, okay, well, if you deal with me, you got to deal with my brother, and you want to deal with my brother too. And so that's how we were both able to get into the music industry with the D boys and the guys outside, because they felt comfortable talking to him, and then they knew they had to come to me because I made the best music. So that gave us all kinds of ends with everyone out here who were into music, and they could have been probably off a lot worse because not approaching us to do music. They probably would have did a crime instead, but they put their money into something more positive, and that was us. They invested time in us and money in us. We gave that back to them, and they hired more people, which got back into the community. So, I mean, and it's been so many different artists over the years too. And I mean, they brought like E40 out here, Mac Dre, who we got to meet before he passed away. So
Too Short.
Yeah, so everyone kind of went through us at the time, if there was feature wise, and we were a part of all of it. And like I said, it created so many different jobs for a lot of different people out here. So love, respect, and honor the community. I think with aspects of that, I think you have to know what each is, because a lot of people's definition of love, respect, and honor is different. So Some people might not know love. Some people might not know how to give respect because they never, have gotten respect and, or the proper honor. So I think just as a people, if you want to, do better. Like if you have just one little inkling inside to do better, try to better yourself in like every little aspect of yourself daily to enrich your community. So if you don't know what love, respect, and honor is, I think if you just dig down and just want to see someone do better, especially if it's in your own community or even your own neighborhood, just take those steps, I think, daily to try to improve yourself, because if you improve yourself, you're able to improve your community. And a part of that is not putting anybody down and help grow, I think, every aspect of your community that you can see grow. Like for us, like if I can't donate a bunch of money, the one thing I'm good at is music. So anytime we go anywhere, people respect Stockton, because we talk about Stockton. First time we met Ice Cube, we got into a little bit of a thing with, talking about where we're from, and he knows we're them Stockton boys. E40, them my Stockton boys. Every single artist. We just did Ruben Studdard's single, which he performed on Kelly Clarkson, and I just had a message with him on Instagram. He's like, "Oh, bro, where you guys from?" I was like, "Stockton." It was like, "Oh, that's a little bit from San Francisco." So Stockton comes up in every conversation because it's unique to every artist. Like that have this big sound and all these different types of genre, and we still live here. And so that's the one thing that I offer to my community as far as like, love, respect, and honor. Like that's how I'm going to honor my community, by growing the one aspect that I'm good at, and it's been growing. And that's pretty much how I feel about, even for me, that's how I feel about how I honor, love, and respect my community.
What he said, but on top of that, love yourself, love others, respect yourself, respect others. Honor all of the above. Because without those, you ain't gonna nowhere in life.
And honor your elders too. You gotta always honor and respect your elders. You gotta love them for sure, but you have to throw it back to them and see what they've been to and use their stories to inspire yourself and grow yourself, because people don't ask us a lot of questions. They can learn a lot. We've always asked people older than us how they managed to get through these different parts of life, and that's helped grow us. So for the youth, I say you guys need to do that too. Talk to your elders, be inspired by them, learn from them, because they've seen probably way more than you have. And so all that wealth of knowledge you have to dig into. And I learned that from my cousin, Chief Excel. He always told me the same things with Black pride, in mind. And the elders always come up because they're pretty much forgotten about in a lot of aspects. You gotta talk to them, you gotta love them, honor and respect them, and learn from them. Teak Underdue.
Dijon Underdue.
We're Hallway Productionz. Please join us downtown at Weber Point for the Juneteenth celebration this year. We are doing a theme of love, respect, and honor. Please join us.